Hey everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to Addiction Unlimited. I'm your coach, Angela Pugh. You know, one of the biggest fears people have when they quit drinking is this question, what if life is boring without alcohol? Let me paint a picture for you. It's Friday night. The week is finally over. Maybe the kids are in bed. Maybe you've just closed your laptop after a long day of work. Maybe you just survived dinner with your mom. And now it's time, right? You pour a drink or crack a beer, open a bottle of wine. And that drink isn't just a drink. It's a signal. It tells your nervous system you made it. You survived the day. You can relax now. It's the line between responsible adult and finally being able to breathe. Now imagine taking that away. Not just the drink, but the signal. Now you've got no off switch, no permission slip, no instant relief at the end of the day. And this is where a lot of people hit the wall when they start thinking about quitting drinking. Because the question shows up immediately like, okay, but what do I do instead? What do I do on Friday nights? What do I do with my stress, my anxiety, my friends? What do I do at weddings, vacations, holidays? What do I do when everyone else has a drink in their hand? And the word people usually use to describe this fear is boredom. People say, I'm afraid I'll be bored if I stop drinking. But let me tell you something. This fear is not about boredom, not even close. When people say they're afraid of sobriety being boring, I always want to pause there because boredom sounds small, right? Like you just can't find something to watch on Netflix. But that's not what people mean. What they're actually describing is something much bigger. They're realizing that alcohol has been holding up a lot of their lifestyle. Think about how many moments alcohol has been the answer to. Stressful day, drink. Celebrating something, drink. Date night, open a bottle of wine. Family holiday, keep the glass full. Feeling anxious at a party, have a drink. Need energy to go out? Start with a drink. Need to come down after going out? Have another one. Alcohol becomes the universal remote control for your emotional life. Relaxing, celebrating, connecting, numbing, rewarding yourself. So when you start thinking about quitting, it doesn't feel like giving up a habit. It feels like pulling a load-bearing wall out of your life. And the fear isn't really, will I be bored? The real fear is, I don't know who I am without this. I don't know how to relax without it. I don't know how to socialize without it. And maybe the scariest one, what if my life actually isn't that fun without alcohol? That's the real fear. And almost everybody feels it. Let me give you a personal example of this. One of my biggest fears when I was getting sober was I was afraid, I guess before I got sober, I was afraid I wouldn't be funny anymore. And that might sound silly at first, but that was very real for me. I was a bartender. And if you've ever spent time around bartenders, you know we're entertaining people all night. We're quick and witty and telling stories and making everybody laugh. And I believed alcohol was part of that. I thought the drinks made me more relaxed, more outgoing, more entertaining. And I also knew there were moments when I was deeply uncomfortable just being in public. That's still true to a certain point, by the way. I am an introvert through and through, so I do like to be in my bubble with only bubble-approved people. But back then, I didn't have language for it, right? I didn't know it was anxiety or social anxiety. I just knew that I felt awkward and tight and just uncomfortable. And the second I had a drink, that feeling disappeared. I immediately felt like I would be okay. So when I started thinking about quitting drinking, one of the questions that scared me the most was, what if alcohol is the reason I'm funny? What if the version of me people like, the version that's confident and entertaining, what if that version only exists when I'm drinking? Because if alcohol was the thing making me fun, then sobriety meant being boring and no more fun. And I know a lot of people listening right now have some version of that same fear. Maybe for you, it isn't being funny. Maybe it's, what if I'm awkward without alcohol? What if I'm not as social? What if I don't know what to say? Or maybe the fear underneath all of that is even deeper. What if people don't like the sober version of me? There's another piece of this that people don't talk about enough. When you stop drinking, there's a void for a while. Evenings feel different, longer, quieter, sometimes uncomfortable. If your routine used to be work, dinner, wine, relax, sleep, and suddenly the wine is gone, there's this empty space where it used to be. And the brain hates empty space. The same thing can happen socially. Parties feel awkward. You don't know what to do with your hands. You don't know how to start conversations the same way. Family events can be a little more chaotic and more emotional. And if alcohol was how you managed anxiety, stress, and tension, then those feelings suddenly show up with no buffer. That's real. And if you're experiencing that, it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It means your brain and your life are adjusting. One thing people don't talk about enough when they quit drinking is how much their nervous system has to recalibrate. Your brain is adjusting, your body is adjusting, and sleep suddenly becomes a very big deal, right? Those early weeks especially, your body is trying to find its rhythm again, which is why the environment you sleep in actually matters more than people realize. It's one of the reasons I love Cozy Earth. They make incredibly comfortable, everyday essentials designed to help your body settle and rest more deeply. Their comforters are so soft and breathable. They're designed to keep you cool and comfortable through the night so your body can actually relax. And I also love their essential socks, which might sound like a small thing. I love these things. When something you wear every day is thoughtfully designed and genuinely comfortable, it makes a difference. Everything Cozy Earth makes is crafted with an obsessive level of detail, so your everyday routines feel just a little more elevated. And you can try it completely risk-free. They offer a 100-night sleep trial, and everything comes with a 10-year warranty, so it's built to last. If you want to upgrade your sleep and everyday comfort, go to CozyEarth.com and use my code Angela for up to 20% off. That's CozyEarth.com, code Angela. And if you get the post-purchase survey, make sure you mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the podcast. So here's something that would have saved me a lot of self-judgment had I known it earlier. When you drink regularly, alcohol floods your brain with dopamine, the feel-good chemical. Over time, your brain adjusts by producing less dopamine on its own, right? Why is it going to do the work if alcohol's doing it? So when someone stops drinking, there's a period where the brain's reward system is basically running on low power. Things that should feel good feel flat. Evenings feel empty. Socializing feels like work. This is one of the reasons people say sobriety feels boring at first, but it's not your personality. It's neurochemistry, right? Your brain is recalibrating. And with time, those natural reward systems come back online. Connection feels good again. Movement feels good. Laughter feels good. Not the blurred version that alcohol creates, but the real version. But there is a transition period. And if you're in that space, you're okay. You're just healing. Remember, you're okay. You're just healing. Okay, the next step is learning how to fill the spaces alcohol used to occupy. And this doesn't happen overnight either, but it does happen. Evenings become time to decompress in new ways. Maybe you're walking or reading, working out, watching something you actually enjoy. Socializing becomes something you learn to do as yourself, not the chemically assisted version. And here's the interesting thing. Some friendships get deeper. Some friendships fade. And as painful as that can be, it also reveals something important. The relationships that remain are the ones that were real. If a relationship only works when alcohol is involved, it was probably more about the alcohol than the relationship. The same is true with partners. Couples who drink together often have rituals around alcohol. And when that changes, the relationship has to evolve. Sometimes that means better communication, more honesty, more real connection. And sometimes that growth is uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly powerful. And underneath all of these fears is one core question. Am I enough without it? Am I interesting enough, fun enough, confident enough, lovable enough? And I want you to hear this. The goal of sobriety isn't just to remove alcohol. The goal is to discover who you are without needing it. Someone who can handle stress without numbing it, someone who can sit through uncomfortable moments and know they'll pass, someone who can actually experience their life, fully present, fully awake. And by the way, remember that fear I had about not being funny anymore? Turns out alcohol wasn't the thing making me funny. It was just the thing making me doubt myself. And I've worked with thousands of people over the years who had the exact same fear about something, right? Their confidence, their personality, their social life, their ability to relax. And over and over and over again, they discover the same thing. Alcohol wasn't creating those qualities. It was just temporarily masking the insecurity around them. And if you're listening to this episode thinking, I cannot keep doing this for another year, then you're the person I want to talk to right now. If you've tried moderation, you've made the rules, you've taken breaks, and you are exhausted, you're tired of negotiating with alcohol, you're tired of waking up the same place another year later, and something inside of you is like, I'm done. Not maybe soon, but right the fuck now. Those are my favorite people to work with. The people who say, let's do this. That energy gets me fired up as a coach. So if you're listening right now and thinking that's me, send me a message. Find me on Instagram or Facebook at Addiction Unlimited and just send the word ready. Just message me and say ready. That's it. And when I reply, don't ghost me, okay? I'm so tired of being ghosted. But if you send that message, we're moving, right? I will get on a call with you today. And if it's a fit, we start right away. Because when someone hits that moment where they're really, truly ready, that's when the real change happens. And those are the people I love helping the most. So if that's you, message me ready. Just say ready. That's all you have to say. And I will make that magic happen. Okay. Now, if you're sitting in the fear right now, the fear of boredom, the fear that life will feel smaller or duller or less fun without alcohol, I want you to understand what's really happening. You're not afraid of boredom. You're afraid of stepping into a version of life that you haven't learned to live yet. And that's okay. Because learning how to live that life is exactly what recovery is about. And on the other side of that fear is something far better than alcohol ever gave you. Clarity and confidence and freedom. Freedom is my favorite part of sobriety. I have so much freedom in my life and freedom of choice, and I can do whatever I want, and I'm not a slave to freaking alcohol, right? This is a life where you can actually trust yourself. And that is worth every uncomfortable step it takes to get here. You know, I also want to tell you about something coming up that I'm really excited about. I'm hosting a live workshop called Why You Keep Starting Over, because a lot of people in this audience are stuck in that same frustrating loop. You stop, you swear this time will be different, you make rules, you try moderation, and somehow you end up right back where you started over and over and over again. And the problem usually isn't that you're not trying hard enough, right? It's that you're trying to solve the wrong problem. And that's exactly what we're going to break down in the workshop. It's 90 minutes live on Zoom, and we'll finish with an open Q&A so you can ask me anything. And it's happening March 26th at 10 a.m. and the workshop is only $67. If you've been stuck in the cycle of starting over, come join me. You can grab your spot. The link is in the show notes, addictionunlimited.com/workshop. I would love to see you there. I love getting to meet you guys on these workshops and webinars and stuff. addictionunlimited.com/workshop. Grab your seat and come hang out with me. Okay. I hope this episode has been helpful in kind of breaking down what those fears really are, because we often mislabel them. And the problem with mislabeling them or not really understanding what's going on under the surface is that then you're trying to solve the wrong problem, right? You can't create solutions to the real problem if you don't understand what the real problem is. And that's kind of what the workshop is about too. And don't forget, if you're ready to start right the fuck now, you're done screwing around with this thing, you're tired of wasting your time, find me on social, comment ready, anywhere, DM me, whatever the thing is, email me, whatever makes you happy. And please don't ghost me, for crying out loud. I'm so tired of being ghosted. I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.